Here it is.
Yeah, you did remember. You remember to bring me back my 16 gigabyte flash drive. We'll send another podcast with you again this week.
It's been up on the. What topic should I do?
I don't know. Remember the topic we talked about Tuesday?
What?
Where we properly introduce myself and do your 30 sub thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll do some other stuff. But anyway, I got a new one. I got a new lightsaber. It's a double-bladed. It's a lot lighter than I thought it would be. Actually, honestly, feel the weight. It's a lot lighter. You're going to want both hands because you wield a double-bladed with both hands. It's a lot lighter than you think it is.
So is this how you normally wield the dual-bladed?
Well, you want your hands inverted, where you got your index fingers pointed towards each other. And then I'll show you when we go outside. I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you. And then we can, I don't know, dabble in your training. Okay. Just a little bit, not a lot.
Okay.
Because I do have to train him because he is going to get a lightsaber eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. And I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to switch captures here real quick. Don't mind my recording bar here. I actually have $3,000 worth of lightsabers right here. Literally $3,000. That's all I'm getting left of Ultra Sabers. Those are the only ones. Unless they come out with an extremely good hilt that I want, then I will no longer be buying from them. But if it is a new hilt and I want it, I'll buy a diamond saber, because the cool thing that I figured out is that I'm going to get a diamond saber, and you can program it to recognize certain motions, so it'll make a certain sound if you swing it a certain way. It's got motion recognition, which is amazing. But anyway, for now, I'm in love with this dual-bladed. It's huge. These aren't even a full-size hilts. Like, if I had gotten the regular Phantasm, which is that one, this one, yep, this one, it would probably be out to here, and these 32-inch blades would be way out there. So it would be freaking huge. I don't even know if this is gonna... I'm gonna have to use this hole in my roof to shit. Not to shit, but to put it there. But anyway, hand me my Dark Catalyst again. Okay. I'm gonna switch captures. Anyway, the purpleness is back!
I was accidentally touching the blade for a little bit.
Oh, it's fine.
It's on. Real. I should do this.
But yeah, the purpleness has returned. I've got it to a point where I've got the darkest shade of purple all the way up to the lightest shade of purple all the way up to the tip. And that's exactly what I wanted, because I have the full purple spectrum on my blade.
That's awesome.
It won't show up on the screen, but if you guys were here, it goes from dark purple all the way up to bright to light purple towards the tip. So, but anyway, this is an emerald saber, by the by. I've been saying by the by a lot.
What's by the by?
It's like by the way, but it's by the by.
Oh, okay.
Also, I'm also going to show off another cool thing that I can do, but it's going to take me a second. These are 32-inch blades, so they're fairly sized. I'm more comfortable with 32 inches. So shit. I'm going to have to put my blade plug in one of them. Which is why I have one. I do have a blade plug. Boom. I love that sound. Because boom. It's the sound reverberating through the blade. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Alright. So yeah, this is the full double-bladed lightsaber in all its glory. It's a little heavy in one hand, but I could do it. Okay, there it is. So you put your blade plug in there. Ooh, it almost fits perfectly. Look at that.
You won't even be able to notice it until you actually look at it. Crap. But how am I going to get it out is the question. I tightened it a little too much. There it goes. Yeah, it should slide right out, but I don't trust it. Don't ask me why. I just don't trust it. Blink. Okay, now that that's in there, here's the blade plug. It has a cool little circle on it that you can't see in the camera because it just fills it in on the camera. But actually, I have a wheel on one side, so I can just clip it on there, and I got the whole thing on here. So it's awesome. And then if I wanted to, give me a second. We're going to talk about my lightsaber here for a minute or two, so be ready for that. Oh. I'm dumb. I am so incredibly dumb. Forgive me for my stupidity. It is very potent.
It could not be worse than something else that happened to me, though.
What?
Like
Are you an idiot too?
Well, I wouldn't say
but now
that,
I only have one.
I wouldn't say either one of us are idiots,
I would say we're pretty stupid.
but I would say...
But we're also extremely intelligent. Like, we're both well-educated gentlemen. I don't know about gentlemen, but we're both well-educated. We both graduated high school. He's in college. I'm going to go back to school for my welding stuff. And I was originally going to be an engineer. I could have been an engineer. I could have been an engineer, but I decided against it. I decided it wasn't what I wanted to do.
Do they probably want to know what I'm doing?
He's an art major.
Yeah. Until I get my associates, and then I'm going to transfer to a Christian college, get a bachelor's in this ministry. High five!
Yeah, I would definitely get the silver or black AV switches, not the guarded, on certain hilts, because it looks a lot better. Because it actually looks like an actual lightsaber hilt with those switches. Even though an actual double-bladed lightsaber would have the ignition switches in the center. Because then you could just on both sides all at once. But then you could just activate one, and that's not the ignition switch. This is that thing that I said. It has no sound. I have to admit, it has no sound. And I'm going to keep it on my lap the whole podcast.
Dragon Ball Super's been getting really good.
Yeah, we're almost to the we're almost to the tournament.
I know what I just find super funny.
What?
Just in the irony, like the metaphoricalness of it and the irony of it. The like God of Destruction in it that it's like being really sketchy and stuff and deceiving people right now and stuff. Or
well, like I told you over the phone when we talked about this, they're all fighting to survive, so they're going to resort to any tactic possible.
I just find it funny that he is a rat. Like that's what he.
That's Toriyama's point.
I just find that funny.
He's a literal rat. That's his point. He's trying to make it funny.
Which did you know?
And ironic.
Did you know that's why Goku Black had the had like his Super Saiyan transformation was called Rose? Because like the black rose in Japanese culture means death.
Yeah, that's what they were going for. But also they were talking about corruption of ki and whatnot. And also, that it is possible.
And also it's sketchy too.
Yeah. Anyway. Excuse me. Mm. But anyway, Ultra Sabers, highly recommend. I've been recommending Ultra Sabers since I did Ultra Sabers Awesomeness. Actually, before that, lo and behold, I actually made a video of my Raven, except I turned my lights off and showed it off, which was stupid of me, because I didn't know it would show up in the camera very well until after I did Ultra Sabers Awesomeness. And I did it, it was like part 5 of The Force Unleashed, that I was like, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison because I just got my Raven. Or no, I didn't just get it. I've had it for a while, but I never showcased it. And that's when I've decided that every time I get a new one, sorry if I'm about to hit you in the head, that every time I get a new one, I'm going to showcase it, and I'm going to, again, recommend Ultra Sabers for all of your lightsaber needs. Because you can go build your own. You can just order the plain hilts. You can get a double-bladed. You can get a single-bladed. You can get one with sound. You can get one without it. They have new sound controllers. I have the software that helps manipulate your sound and your color for emeralds. It's amazing. I could go on and on and on about it. My only minor nitpick is that they don't have Revan's lightsaber hilt. I even sent them a picture of it on Facebook of Revan's lightsaber hilt. Like, I'll show it to you. I'll show you what it looks like. It should be in my files. These are all my mother's pictures. She keeps throwing her pictures in here.
Did Count Dooku make his lightsaber hilts the way they are? Because
the curved hilt,
yeah,
it's meant for his lightsaber fighting style. This is his lightsaber hilt. It's very unique. It's very awesome. This was his lightsaber after he left the Jedi. It was a purple lightsaber.
So even as a Sith, he had a purple lightsaber?
No, he had a red as a Sith. It was after that. He left the Jedi, and he became both. He embodied both. The best of both. Because he took his experiences as a Sith Lord and combined them with his Jedi teachings, and he became one of the best Grey Jedi to ever live. But now he's a non-canon, a Legends character. Which very, very, very upsets me. It upsets me greatly. I'm not happy!
Do you think Rey in like the current Star Wars trilogy, do you think she's gonna find out about like the Grey Jedis? Or
That's what the next movie is about. The end of the Jedi.
Or meet them?
Luke is a Grey Jedi.
Oh.
That's what the whole thing is.
Oh.
Luke is the last Jedi, but he is now letting the Order die with him because he is switching to a grayer side of the Force, as the Jedi were meant to be. The original Jedi, the Jedi that originally discovered the Force, 26 centuries before the Battle of Yavin. So 26,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. That's a long time ago.
What was the Battle of Yavin?
The Death Star?
Oh. Okay.
Bad.
I thought you were talking about something else.
BBY, Battle of Yavin, before the Battle of Yavin. ABE is after the Battle of Endor. That's how the Star Wars fandom and how even the people who are canonizing it are putting things in places of time. Like The Force Awakens is 20 years ABE after the Battle of Endor.
So that was when
the Death Star, the second, was destroyed.
That time in between the two of them doesn't seem like it was.
That's the original trilogy. That's the original trilogy saga.
Okay.
That's what people are like. And then before that were the prequels, ABY, before the BBY, my bad. ABY is the original trilogy, and then ABE is after the Battle of Endor. So remember that. When you're putting things in different times, BBY is before the Battle of Yavin, ABY is after the Battle of Yavin, and ABE, ABE is after the Battle of Endor.
What do you
At least I think Force Awakens takes place about 20 years after. I think so. I think it takes like 20 years after because they're all in their 50s or 60s.
and
I mean,
also they have kids.
Harrison's in his 70s because he's the oldest of the three.
And not
Well,
Kylo
he
Ren.
was the oldest of the three because
Kylo Ren looks at least 20.
what's I feel really bad not remembering her name.
Okay. Oldest.
I meant from the original trilogy. Ford was always the oldest between the three of them. Why can't I remember her name?
What are you talking
I
about?
feel so stupid. Who was the person who played Leia? I can't remember. I can't remember her name.
Maria Fisher? I'm guessing that's her.
Carrie Fisher.
Okay.
Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher passed away in February.
Did you know that Adam West passed away?
Adam West passed?
Yeah. Not all that long ago that he passed away.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah. Sad.
Damn it, all the good actors are leaving us. Perfect. It's just going to stay there. Would it be better if I turned it on?
Trying to see if it's touching your skin.
No, it's just the tip of the emitter.
Okay.
I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I don't care. Pain is worth it.
The pain is worth it.
Alright, I'm not going to drain my batteries. But I am very upset that Carrie Fisher passed away before. Well, she was finished filming episode 8. They finished filming episode 8 with her, but she passed right after that, before they could start on 9.
Oh,
So I'm upset. I'm gonna miss her. She will be missed.
so are they filming 9 right now?
Probably. They're probably
Oh.
finishing editing 8 and making 9. It's only a few months away. Are we gonna go see The Last Jedi together?
Probably.
Yeah. We didn't go see The Force Awakens together.
I'm trying to
I went to see it. I went and saw it 2 times. One was by myself. The second time was with my stepdad and my brother, Ian. It was with Ian. And I have it over there on my pile of DVDs on my dresser behind me that you can't see, with the entire original saga, 1 through 6. I'm not going to buy any more of the Star Wars movies because I know they're going to put them in a giant bundle, just like they did with the complete saga. They're going to put it in a giant bundle. They're going to put the standalone movies in a bundle, and they're going to put the new trilogy in a bundle. So I'm just going to wait until I buy those.
But
Or I'll just buy them all. I may buy them all, just because I love Star Wars.
what other what Star Wars?
Are we just going to talk about Star Wars this podcast?
I'm just curious. What standalone Star Wars movies would you like to see them?
I would like to see. We already got Rogue One, which is what I mainly wanted to see. I wanted to see Rogue One, how they got the Death Star plans.
Yep.
Your face is on the mic again.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. The mic is right here. I don't know if you guys can hear us, but it's right here, and you need to know to speak up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they can hear you, because it's always whenever we're doing a podcast or something, but they can't hear you. It's fine over the phone
Oh.
because you're right next to the mic, but you're
Yeah.
closest to the mic.
Yep.
I always speak clearly.
Ah.
You guys have no trouble hearing me. If it is me, let me know in the comments.
Do you have trouble hearing me? Oh, you do.
They probably didn't hear that because you talk so
Oh,
softly.
alright.
That's what I'm talking about. You talk so softly. I want you to talk clearly towards the mic. Like, look at the camera when you're talking because we're talking to them. We're talking to you. Yes, you.
You should be watching the podcast. Oh, you are.
And I accidentally deleted my stupid podcast video today. I'm going to do that while we're talking. Because I can do that. I have the technology. You don't. I do. I control what I do.
What other Star Wars standalone movies would you like to see?
Hold on. Let me finish this. The podcast is coming. Not dirty. Sorry.
Like something.
I would like to see. We saw Rogue One. I would like to see a Han Solo standalone movie, a Darth Vader standalone movie. I don't think we're going to get that because we've been getting the Darth Vader comics. But I would also like to see a Yoda origin story. Like the origins of Yoda, who his master was, and... Shut up! I'm trying to talk, Austin!
So
What? Sorry.
One that I would like to see, I think it would be cool to, like, do some films based around, like, some of the bounty hunters. In,
Like Boba Fett.
parts.
You want a Boba Fett story, even though we got that in Clone Wars?
Or, like, just something in between, like, films with the bounty hunters, just seeing, like, what was up with them, and then the other ones would be, like, Old Republic stuff.
I would
Like,
definitely like to see an old Republic movie. Like, I'm talking KOTOR. I want a KOTOR movie. I've been wanting a KOTOR movie since I played the game. I'm playing KOTOR 2 right now. I haven't in a while. I recorded a bunch all at once, and my mic cut out. So, if you notice, I've gotten rid of Plays. Plays.tv is no longer my main recording software. I have the full licensed version of Bandicam, so I have infinite recording time. I record it, I make MP4 files, so they upload really quick onto YouTube. I mean, my AVI files weren't taking too long either, but it's a lot quicker if it's an MP4. Because stuff and things. Also, this records in high definition all the time. My Bandicam, not my camera. My camera kind of fluctuates. But
I think
I would love to see the revival of Revan and the Infinite Empire.
Oh, the revival of Revan. Did that? Like, what time period does that happen?
It takes place 300 years before the Battle of Yavin. I may be wrong, but I think it's like 200 or 300 years before the Battle of Yavin. And then it's like 10 years after the Sith Trium came up. Darth Traya, not Nihilus, my bad, and Scion. And that's where KOTOR 2 takes place. Just after Revan. Like 10 years or so.
I think it would be cool just because I always thought, like, the history of Mandalore was something really interesting.
I don't think they have the Old Republic as canon, do they?
No.
No, it's just a standalone MMO.
No.
Because Revan is canon in the Old Republic.
I think it would be.
Because that's like 150
Yeah.
years before BBY.
I think if they wanted to do like two.
I would also like to know the origins of the Force. Because in Legends, they talk about the Cosmic Force and the
Midichlorian.
no, there's the Cosmic Force and then there's the Living Force. That's what it was. Because Qui-Gon was all about the Living Force, and the Jedi were all about the Cosmic Force. There's two sides to the Force. The Living Force is all of the Force that binds every single person, plant, or thing together. That's the Cosmic Force. Or the Living Force. That's the Living Force. The Cosmic Force is the physical representation of the Force. Like the ones, they were a physical representation of the Force. The father was the balance, the daughter was the light side, the son was the dark side. That was a physical representation of the Force.
Oh, and are those the people that you meet in Clone?
That was the Clone Wars specials.
Okay.
They're not canon, but in Legends, they were canon.
Oh.
There was also a fourth of the ones. The mother. She was part of the balance, just like the father was, but she became so powerful that the father, the daughter, and the son the daughter and the son had to band together to lock away the mother. And when the ones died, she was released, and Luke and Darth Krayt had to team up and take her down. But that was in Legends. I can't remember what her name was. But she was a very dark person. She was very freaky looking.
Um,
Hold on. I may be able to find that. You can keep talking. I'm just going to look for this.
I think something that will also be. I do. The main reason why I think like bounty hunter movies would be cool, like one after the original trilogy, and before Force Awakens, and one before one after the prequels.
Oh, like immediately after?
Yeah, like just
The time between 3 and 4?
Just seeing how that affected how the bounty hunters went about doing things. Just kind of seeing like those political shifts. Do you think that would be an interesting idea for like standalone films?
Abeloth! That's what it was. Abeloth. Because on the Planet of the Ones, I can't remember the name of the planet, but it had two fonts of the Force, where there was the light side font and the dark side font. The mother was actually a human who was brought there, and that's how the daughter and the son was conceived by the father. And Abeloth, watching her children fight in a desperate attempt to harness both sides, drank from the light side font and the dark side font in their respective domains and went insane. She lost her mind, but she became so powerful. She became powerful enough to subdue both the daughter and the son with like the wave of her hand. And it was after Luke was made the Grand Master of the Jedi, of the New Jedi Order, that Abeloth appeared. He was like in his 60s or so, but he was still extremely powerful. He was still the most powerful Jedi alive. But what happened was Force users, literally from light years away, she could literally drive a very stable-minded Jedi to insanity instantly. Like, she couldn't affect Luke because Luke was so powerful, but he could feel her presence from light years away, like across the galaxy. It was it was a very, very strange and very amazing arc in those comics, because she was a comic character. She was part of the Legends continuity. But yeah, Abeloth was so powerful that it was just ridiculous. Like, think Palpatine times, I don't know, 100. So, yeah. Except harnessing both sides of the Force.
I feel like with Revan, they could probably do a whole trilogy for Revan.
I don't know, Revan's life... In Legends, Revan lived to be almost 300 and some, because of the Sith Emperor of that time increased his lifespan by however many years using Sith alchemy. So they literally tortured him to live. That's kind of what Sith alchemy does. Because it's weird. It's almost like magic, except it's using the Force in very unnatural ways. It's like spitting in the cosmic force's face.
Oh.
It was like, fuck you. That's what Sith alchemy is. It's literally bending the rules. Or breaking them. It depends on how much Sith alchemy you use. Because Sith rituals were very potent, and they aren't used in canon for obvious reasons, because they're extremely overpowered and probably lost to time because of how dangerous they are. Because in the Old Republic, the Sith Emperor of that time performed a Sith ritual that literally drained the Force out of an entire planet. And he could live for almost forever from that, because he killed so many people and he literally drained the life force out of the planet. It's freaky.
Yeah.
And Nihilus could have lived forever if he wasn't so damn greedy. Because he had the very unique ability called Force Drain, but it was on such... Sith can use it, but not to such a high degree as Nihilus could. He literally could drain an entire planet using his Force Drain ability, and it would keep him alive. So he could also live forever if he continued to drain, I don't know, person by person, and live for hundreds of thousands of years. If he wasn't defeated by the exile, but anyway, you can tell I follow these things, especially KOTOR continuity, and especially Legends, because Legends had a lot of the stuff that I loved, and is now gone. Because Legends is what GT is to Dragon Ball. It's just a side story. It was never meant to be canon.
But they're still meant to be good.
They're still meant to be good. Like Legends, I would love to throw Legends at you all the time, but it's not canon. And people just can't get over it. And people can't differentiate what's canon and what's not. The only things that are canon now are the movies
and Clone Wars and Rebels.
Clone Wars isn't canon.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, they decanonized it.
Oh.
Rebels is canon, but Clone Wars was decanonized.
Oh, because it wasn't made by Disney.
Yeah, because it wasn't made by Disney.
Oh.
Because Disney controls what's canon and what's not. So they decanonized Clone Wars.
Then
That they spent 9 seasons crafting.
then why does Disney still like reference stuff that happened in Clone Wars?
Because they're making Rebels. There's only one more season of Rebels left.
They were like, oh, last person to have the Darksaber was Darth Maul, and like, oh, like one of the last few.
Well,
seasons.
there are certain things that are canon, but it's really hard to pick it out because most of it was decanonized. Like Yoda learning from the Force priests was decanonized. Because
So-
the movies say Yoda learned it from Qui-Gon. Because Qui-Gon was the first to learn how to live on through the Force of the Jedi Order at that time.
Oh,
Like, there were Jedi hundreds of years before that already knew how to do this. But it was because the Jedi were so askew from their original purpose that they forgot how to do so, and it was lost to their teachings. Because The Last Jedi, the new movie that's coming out, Episode 8, is going to show us how far off the Jedi teachings in the prequels really were. Like, it was so far off from the Jedi's original purpose that it's going to blow our minds. So be ready for that. We're going to go see Episode 8. It comes out Christmas-ish. Christmas-ish. Just like all the Star Wars movies have. Austin, leave me alone! Sorry, I have a friend on Steam that I don't talk to very much, except on Steam. I know him, who he is. I know who he is in public and whatnot, but I just don't get to see him very often. So I talk to him through Steam. And you're in the mic again.
oh, sorry.
People want to see your face.
Am I supposed to say something now?
I have no idea. I don't have anything left. I'm kind of tuckered out for talking about Star Wars. I mean, I could whip out my double-bladed again, but that probably wouldn't be any use at this point. But watch, here I go. Amazing, right? We're going to test it out after the podcast, and I'm going to show him a little bit.
Oh,
You're going to be able to be here till 6, right?
I can, yeah.
Okay, so I would tell your mother that after we're done, and we'll go outside for a little
Should
bit.
we tell them what our Force colors were?
Oh, yeah. He's a Guardian Blue, and I'm a Violet Amethyst. I had to take the test twice because I knew I was not a Guardian Blue. I was a Violet Amethyst. I had just forgotten what the questions were, even though I read through them all with him. I had forgotten what my answers were because it does change over time because your outlooks on life are going to change because that's how life is. But I would go take it. Go to the Ultra Sabers website. Hang on. I'm going to switch captures again and show you.
Alright, so we're on the Ultra Sabers website again. You want to go to the Ultra Sabers holocron up here in the top. If my freaking shit would load. Go away.
Oh,
I don't need any help right now.
are we taking the quiz as we record?
No, I'm just going to show them where it's at.
Okay.
So, right here in the way of the saber, there is what lightsaber color are you, and what's your lightsaber combat style. Do you want to tell them what our lightsaber combat styles are?
Yeah. Isn't it the same one?
No, actually, I had a different one from you.
Ah.
I'm gonna go to the history of lightsaber combat because it shows the different lightsaber combat styles. It doesn't explain them, but I will tell you what they are. I was in Ataru, and I am very fluent in it. It took me years to get Ataru right. It took years and years and years to get Ataru right because it's so difficult. It's one of the most difficult out of all of them. And Quentin's a Juyo, so.
What made the Vaapad? Well,
Vaapad is Mace Windu. Mace Windu made Vaapad. Juyo is a Sith art. It's not used very often in the Jedi teachings, even though it should be.
so
Because if you have a double-bladed lightsaber, more often than not, you're going to want to use the Juyo form. The only reason I'm so good at Juyo... What?! The only reason that I'm so good at Juyo is because it was the first lightsaber combat form that I learned. And it's what I excelled at. I got really good at Juyo really early on.
I would
And I'm going to be able to teach it to you pretty well.
I would say like if I was like an actual Jedi and stuff, I feel like I would use Vaapad just because of what it is, kind of like the mental practice of what
Yeah.
it is.
It's literally taking the dark side from your opponent and shooting it back into them. Like Mace Windu literally channels the dark side through him, but it's not from him. It's from his opponent. Like, he doesn't use it all the time. It's just something he developed. Count Dooku used Makashi. He was a master of Makashi. And believe it or not, Anakin developed his lightsaber style from two forms. He combined Djemso with Makashi, and that's how he defeated Count Dooku. Because he learned from his defeat from Dooku before, and made some adjustments. So he was a master of the joint form he had created, which was a mixture of Djemso and Makashi. But anyway, that's all I wanted to cover here. But yeah, it's right here in the Ultra Sabers holocron. You click the link right here, and it's right there. Those two are right there. If you want to go down, there's actually stuff down here, and then there's, what is that?
What does it say?
I have no idea what those are. Then there's the construct your lightsaber walkthrough. There are a whole bunch of fan films and stuff that are here. But anyway, I would definitely go check out Ultra Sabers because it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth to look at it. And I have a shit ton of stuff to buy. That's Ian's double-bladed because I'm going to teach him how to wield one when he gets back. He's at camp right now. But anyway, I'm going to switch captures again.
That's my recording. Okay, we're back. I think we got like 15 minutes or so.
Okay. So, what do you guys feel like talking about?
They can't talk.
I know.
You can talk in the comments. I just highly suggest not talking to your screen because people are going to think you're crazy. Yeah, watch your head with this. I still think this is going to be really fun. I don't know why I didn't order one earlier.
What's going to be fun?
Testing this out. Because we've got a giant sand pit in the backyard. And that's where most of our training is going to take place. Because it's where you're going to be able to learn your posturing very well. Very well. Wheel. I said it. Wheel.
Well,
You'll learn it
kind
very
of like how I said golf. I meant to say golf.
Engulf, not engulf, 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 engulf.
I can promise you golf does not involve fire.
Ugh. I could just slowly spin this around. You're fine. I'm not gonna hit you. Maybe. My wingspan is pretty big, so I may be able to just bam. I'm definitely gonna get some upper body strength using this thing. Because it's heavy, but it's not as heavy as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like 10 pounds or so. I think it's like 3.
You know, we're talking about like me using a longer hilt just because of my big hands.
Yes, because a bigger hilt will fit a lot easier in your hands because it'll actually feel smaller to you because you have bigger hands than me.
In my
Like, hand me my Dark Catalyst again.
in my
Because this is a much longer hilt than a standard hilt. Look at how much longer that is.
in my ceramics class,
Here,
my teacher was
try
actually
it out. Like, hold it.
was
You can turn it on.
was surprised because of the size of my percussion instruments and my sculptures. Because, especially my small percussion instrument, because they were quite small.
Are you gonna flash? Flash it. Do it. Why won't it flash? I still think that's the coolest aspect of this, is that it'll flash. We'll save some battery life for it later.
Okay.
Just kind of put it back up there. Oh, hand me my Raven really quick.
Okay.
The big one. This is probably the heaviest saber of them all. It's really heavy.
The hilt is quite a bit thicker.
It's thicker, it's heavier, and it's awesome. Because I made it to sound heavier. I made it to sound heavier. Because when I was crafting the sound for this one, I made it to make it sound heavier. So that longer turn-off is exactly what I was going for. Because my Dark Catalyst has a quicker turn-off because it's light. So that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
So it's a lot heavier. Just wielding it in one hand, I think it's like 5 pounds. Because the pommel alone is 1. It's 1 pound. The claws are 1 pound, and the hilt is 3 pounds.
Want to know how big my small percussion instrument was?
How big?
It was like
That big
a little bigger than this. Just a little bit bigger than this. Yeah.
So about that.
Yeah, about that.
That's big for her? She thought that was big?
No, she was surprised at how small it was.
Oh, okay, you can put that
Just
down.
because of how big my hands are.
Your hands are big, but you can craft really well. Put it on the farther side of it. There you go.
Thank you for the compliment.
I mean, my grandpa's the same way. He has enormously huge hands, but he can work with delicate things very easily because he's a worker.
Like, if I'm very focused and used to working delicately, then I can do a pretty good job.
Should we record me doing this outside?
Well,
Maybe. You would have to hold my phone though, because I don't want to drag my laptop out there.
I wouldn't want to do, like, training that we did, at least not right now.
You'll have to
up
stand
on
off to the
YouTube,
side.
just because I'd be bad at it.
Like you would just have to hold my phone steady,
Okay.
and we'll be outside. So maybe, I don't know. If my phone doesn't work, I'll have to drag it out there. Now I'll just drag it out there. I'll just drag it out there.
Well, we don't have to record it if you want.
I kind of want to. Because I have been practicing with it. Because I'll show you what I was practicing with. Because this is almost the exact same size as what I was practicing with. But I don't have anything left to talk about, which is unusual when we have podcasts. Like, I got so emotional into talking about Star Wars and Legends and stuff, but that only took up like 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh man, now I got nothing left. So we may just cut this one a little short. It's fine. It's 100% fine. Sorry, ate something, drank something. Probably drank something.
I might be uploading the podcast earlier than a week from now.
We'll have to record that when we come back in.
But
Well, they probably didn't hear it anyway, because you're talking too softly. When are you going to learn that they're never going to hear you unless you speak up?
But yeah,
That's better.
I'll try to have a podcast up next.
We'll record that later on. It'll be here, but I still want to get him have a podcast every week or so. Because I have regular podcasts. You're going to be gone next week, though, aren't you? Because you're going to camp.
Well,
Isn't that next week? You told me Tuesday that was next week.
it's
Or are you gone just Thursday that day?
Oh, I'm and leave Thursday, but I'll be gone for quite a
Okay. Well, let me know how long you'll be gone, because hopefully we'll be able to make a podcast that week, the week after.
Well, we could do. Well, we'll discuss.
We'll discuss it later.
It's not recorded.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Behind the scenes stuff you don't need to worry about,
Yeah.
because I'll have to edit and then and pre-render this afterwards anyway. So I'm just splashing my blades over here.
But
That would be horrible with a real lightsaber. I'd be just like, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. I would just love to hear it turn on and turn off over and over and over again. I do it with bows too, like bip 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 bip. Turn it on and turn it off. Wax on,
wax off.
wax off.
Now you can beat the bully at school, right? Yes. And remember, the crane kick is unable to be blocked unless they're stand farther away from how far away they can be, and you can still kick them. Then they can just grab your foot and flip you.
Yeah.
But let's not think about that, because
Karate Kid reference.
we have to have a simple ending for this movie, please.
Oh, did you help make the Karate Kid?
No.
No. Was it just a joke?
Yeah, I was trying to be funny.
Not quite, but it was still pretty good.
Definitely be looking out for for the next podcast,
It'll be on his channel.
because there's gonna be some announcements.
Oh, yeah. It'll be on his channel, so go to his channel. Not mine. His. This is your warning!
Some pretty. Some
Be gone and never return!
until we do another podcast on his channel.
Really? Dungeon Siege reference. Come on.
Oh. I didn't.
Oh, I actually have a funny story. I actually played, I don't know, what was it, Dungeon Siege 4 or something? I don't remember which one it was, but I played it with my dad when I was a kid, and there was this part where there was a long hallway, and all you could see was this giant pair of 8 eyes at the end, and I'm like, ah! And my dad's like, oh, it's just the giant spider at the end of the room. I'm like, what? No! Because it was actually my first I think it was the first MMO I ever played.
You
It
know,
was Dungeon Siege.
you know what we could do?
What?
Sometime we could talk about certain events.
But I haven't watched it all yet.
Oh,
I could tell you about the books. I could tell you right now that the books are probably better.
like I could talk about the Netflix show, and you could talk about
The books.
Yeah.
Okay, I could do that. I'd have to reread the books, but okay. I'm not opposed to that.
And for right now, it would only be like first 4 books.
Because they only have the first 4 done.
Yeah.
Probably because that's all the movie took over.
Well, they didn't do Miserable Meal.
That's after the movie. That would be after the movie.
They made like a genetic alien favorite thing that.
I actually think that was a thing. It was just the book after.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was a thing or not. I'll have to figure it out. Because there were the circus kids, the 3 circus triplets that were really weird. They were like an exact duplicate of the children, the original kids. I can't remember their names right now. The Baudelaires. They were an exact duplicate of the Baudelaire children, except they were circus kids. So they were also screwed over by Count Olaf, but they were circus kids.
So are they like?
They were like in the 10th book or something when they showed up, and they were pretty integral for the second to last one.
What does integral mean?
Important. Very, very key to the ending.
So was there like
The end of the series was a little anticlimactic.
kind of like Spirited Away?
Not really.
You notice that?
It wasn't that anticlimactic.
Oh, the parents thing.
It wasn't that anticlimactic.
But the thing with the dragon, that was cool.
Spirited Away had a really good ending. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I
It
guess.
had a great, conclusive ending that was well-rounded and well done.
Yeah, I just.
Can you hear the sarcasms dripping out of my voice?
Oh, I thought.
The beginning was good. The main body of the movie was really good,
Yeah.
but the ending was kind of eh.
My most favorite part of the ending, where I thought like best resolution in it,
Yeah,
Part of
they could have done the
was-
same resolution.
was when the girl was like, "Oh, I remember your name. You were like, and you had the same name as Notion and stuff." And then
Yeah.
he was able to leave. I thought that part was done well.
I remember.
I remember.
I need to get that movie back again. Because I'm probably going to watch it again.
That's not what it costs.
$350.
It costs more than $350.
$350. It costs more than $350. Don't say it. I have the tools to murder you.
Banana.
Inside joke. Actually, was that part of a video?
Yeah.
That was part of a video. Someone go and find what video that was on. It was a collab we were doing.
It was like 4th podcast we did.
And it was over the phone. Yeah, it was like episode 4 or
It
something.
was the same one where I kept on like stopping recording.
Yes, you only did it twice, but I remember that. I remember that. That was part of a video. And then the Christian thing. That's an Undertale joke. You have to go see podcast episode 4, Religion on Ice episode 4 to know that banana joke. And you have to watch our entire, or like the first 2 episodes of... No, it was the after podcast show that was that.
It was the after podcast show.
That was
for
the after
first podcast.
The very first podcast, which was 2 hours long, because it was 2 parts. And now we're just settling on an hour long, because we can't talk about it.
Did I already tell you what did I already tell you personally what I'm bringing back to my channel?
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Did I tell you the new stuff?
No.
Oh, there's no
We're
stuff.
over time though.
Well, we'll talk about that in the other.
We'll talk about that in your podcast because it'll be your podcast.
Because there's going to be someone else.
Also, you're numbering the podcast wrong. You
Oh.
went from 1 to 4. What happened to the other 2?
Because there were the 2 other ones that we recorded on.
Why didn't you upload them first, though? I told you to upload those first.
I forgot. I've been forgetting to.
So you should upload those.
Yeah.
Your viewers are going to be confused.
I will upload those.
Someone will call you out on it. Anyway, we are way over time.
Once I edit them together. Well, edit the one that I kept on stopping.
Oh, yeah.
Together.
Yeah. Because that was the 4th one that you did with me. But that was like the 2nd one for you.
I thought about only doing like the last part. Just because.
But anyway.
Not quite an hour, but it came close.
Yeah. Right.
And
You're
it was
in the mic
long.
again. Come out.
And it was the
So we
most
can do the
coherent
outro.
part.
But anyway, we didn't even do an intro. We just kind of started. That's been a thing for our podcast. We just kind of start and forget. And then I remember I forgot to do an intro at the end.
Well, okay.
But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Quentin, for joining me for another podcast. More than likely, it'll be successful. I'm going to get my editing stuff going before we go outside.
Wait, we did do the end.
Yeah, we didn't do an intro. I think that's a thing that we're going to start now. And people are going to probably lay into me later that I don't do an intro for my podcast. We'll do an intro for yours, though.
It's because we keep on forgetting.
It's because all I did was hit the record button and we went. That's usually how I do most of my videos. Except I have an intro. For all of those, check out my almost 500 videos. I'm almost at 500 videos.
High five.
I'm at like 470 some.
I'm at like 108.
You need to upload more often. I upload almost every day. I've been doing that for almost a year. Do you have any idea how many videos I'm going to have at the end of my first year?
No,
Like 700 or so.
that's enough.
I'm going to have a huge celebration for 1,000. It'll be like my year anniversary, but with 1,000 different video clips.
Oh, should I tell them what we're pretty much, what the podcast
That's what we're going to do.
be?
That's what we're going to do after your podcast. We're going to go through the videos with you in them, and we're going to put those in there, and then my year anniversary video will be finished. If you guys have not checked out that year anniversary teaser, check it out. Let me know if there's something wrong with it. Unfortunately, I cannot get rid of those watermarks, the Bandicut watermark that it gives. I cannot get rid of those. I cannot turn it off without getting the full license. So I am sorry. You're just going to have to deal with it. The ones that don't have them, I didn't edit them at all. I just put them in there. But it took me 4 hours to get that finished. And then it took me another 10 minutes to cut out the ending because I wanted to save that for the final video. Because that's all we're going to do. We're going to add clips to the beginning, and then we're going to put in my original video teaser. But anyway, this has been Religion on Ice, and we are out!